channel, folks. How is everybody doing? It's been a while. We haven't had the car at home. It's been away having some bits and bobs done. But today I've had some packages turn up that I thought I'd share with you. I don't want to keep every component of this build secret. There is certain things that we are hiding at the moment. There's certain things that I can't really show you because, you know, the car is just... it's in pieces, and it looks like no progress has happened whatsoever. It has. It's down to bare metal. It's there's nothing exciting to make a video on. We've thrown a few shorts up there here and there, and as the build progresses, then obviously we can update you. But yeah, I wanted to share these packages that we've received today. Nearly 100 quid in postage to get them to me because they're heavy. But I'm gonna stop the video and go over to these packages so you can see exactly what is coming out of them as I see them. So ready? Here we go. Here we go then. Let's have a look, see what's inside these packages. If they're easy enough to get open, of course. Tell you what, I'll cut this short, get some packaging off, and then do the reveal. Okay, here we go. So, this is what we have had turn up. A whole new set of hydraulic suspension from Ray at Raven Hydraulics. He has sent everything out that we are going to need to put the Corsa on hydraulics. So obviously he's labelled these up: near side rear, near side front, offside rear, offside front, offside rear. So there we go. That's those puppies. What have we got in here? That is looking to be the pump, I would have thought. All labelled up, look. Offside rear. Can't really go wrong with that. And then inside this last box, all sorts of different bits and bobs. So he's machined up some top mounts for me. So these will pivot. I can't get it to do it with one hand. You can see it's on a ball joint just here, and the tops will pivot within that ball joint, so it's not putting stress on the components that are already, you know, as standard on the car. So we've got a pair of those. Lovely. And there's all the hoses and everything else we're going to need to put this into operation. Wasn't cheap. It leaves a hole in your pocket, believe me. But there was nobody better to go to than Raven Hydraulics. They've done some of the best show cars out there. The old Calibra Coachworks V6 Astra, if everybody remembers that from back in the day, was on Raven Hydraulics. Now owned by Workshop 504. Lovely guys. Met them last year at the reunion show. They're working wonders with that car, bringing it back from the dead. But yeah, there we go. So that's all the things that Raven do. We did have quite an in-depth discussion regarding whether he was going to be... Oh, let me sit down. We had an in-depth discussion between us, Ray and I, whether I should go for air or hydraulics. We decided that it would probably be a better option to go down the route of hydraulics. It will sit lower. The Corsa is obviously quite low, and he said, yeah, you probably won't get it that low with air because of the way the bags are collapsed. You'll probably be about 111 mil, was it? I think he said something like that when the bag collapses, so you probably won't get it quite as low as what you've got it now. Obviously, the main idea of putting these hydraulics on the car, A, it looks epic, but B, I think it's just more for loading on and off of the trailer. Obviously, you haven't seen any videos from me for a while, as we said. there is reason behind that. It's not because I've stopped building this car. The car is away, having work done extensively every single month. It's stuff that I can't do, or stuff I don't have the patience to do, or don't have the tools to do. So I would rather get somebody else to do it and know that it's done to a better standard. The paint job is going to be a complete one-off. There's no two ways about that. So the bodywork has got to be pristine. We had a lot of cracks in the body kit. Some of them were probably aided along with the with getting it on and off of the trailer that we've got. It's a tilt bed trailer. Tilt bed trailer is fantastic. Would recommend one to any day of the week to anybody. With a low show car, even a tilt bed trailer is not that practical. So in order to get on the tilt bed trailer, as you've probably seen in previous videos, we have to then put separate pieces of wood to, you know, decrease the gradient. Because if we try and drive straight onto the trailer, you just wipe the bumper out, crack. Even with the loading ramps getting onto the tilted trailer, we are finding that sometimes when you reverse off, the front bumper's catching on the trailer and so on. Not a massive deal at the moment because obviously the bumper's already damaged. But in the long run, if we've got a one-off paint job, we don't want that destroyed. It's going to be a one-off paint job where if you damage the bumper, if you have some cracking on a wing, you ain't blowing it back in. It's not going to be like a metallic colour or a gloss colour or something like that where you can just go, oh yeah, we'll just take that wing off and get it painted the same colour. It won't work. So everything's got to be tip-top before it can, you know, go to paint. Paint still may be a long way off yet. I know that, well, it's going to cost me 800 quid just for the paint. I've got to obviously speak to the guy who runs the body shop and say, how much are you going to charge me to actually paint this car? Because it's not a straightforward colour. But yeah, and before then, we've got to obviously make sure that all the bodywork is absolutely perfect, and everything else. Having these hydraulics mean that we can get the bumper and everything put back on the car. If we want it all smoothed back in, then I've got no chance that I'm going to hit this bumper when it goes on and off the trailer. So this was a main priority to get this sorted so we can get the car moving up and down. It can go on the trailer to shows as much as I want, and I'm not going to damage the front bumper. So there is method in the madness. But yes, this lot was expensive. As I say, there was only one person to choose when it came to these hydraulics. There's numerous different companies out there that obviously produce them. Obviously, Raven Hydraulics, you know, they've been doing it for a long time. You know, you talk to Ray, tell him what you want, you tell him what car it's going on, and he'll instantly know, right, I need to give you this, 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 and this. You know, have a look at your top mounts. Have they got, you know, this fixture? Have they got this fitting? You know, and he will obviously be able to manufacture stuff to cater for your needs. Now, I ordered this, I think, probably a week ago, and it arrived DPD. Well, he only sent it out yesterday, so it's arrived overnight. Fantastic service. Obviously, it cost me quite a bit for postage. It's got to come all the way from Cambridge on the mainland down to the Isle of Wight, and well, you know, these are heavy boxes. They're not light. You know, I picked two of them up just now, and wish I hadn't. But yeah, they're that's what's going to go on the car. Obviously, we can update you as and when that gets done. I can't really update you with too much on the car. There is a couple of things I'm keeping a little bit hush-hush. Obviously, I've done a quick video here and there of the bodywork, of what's been going on. Obviously, we've ground every single inch of filler off of that car. Every panel had filler on it. I cannot believe how much filler came off of it. You know, I was talking to somebody recently and he said, you know what they should have done with those roof rails that were full of filler? They should have put lead in them. Lead was quite a popular thing to use back in the day, because it doesn't seem to crack when you obviously put it in fill the roof rails and whatnot. I don't think I'm going to go that route to put it back there. I think I'll just clip the roof rails back in as said and paint them, and tidy it up that way. But yeah, so at the moment, we have, as I say, got it all back to bare metal. We found the number plate recess had been filled with a flat piece of metal instead of using or you know, curving it, and they used about that much, so that thickness of my index finger of filler to create the curve of the boot lid, which is again shocking, but that's what they did back in the day. We found that they had obviously welded up the passenger door handle, got rid of that, deleted it completely, and where they had welded that up, I think they put so much heat to the panel that it's warped the door just below the door handle. I think we pointed this out before on a previous episode, and yeah. So that's going to need a bit of filler to tidy that up, but this should not be the amount of filler that was on that car on a car. You know, we will obviously put some back on there to tidy the car up and make sure that it's all, you know, ready for paint, but it's certainly going to weigh a damn sight less than what it did before. So yeah, so that's what's going on at the moment. The engine will come out to paint the engine bay. I don't know if we talked about this previously. The interior has been stripped on it again. You know, I want to change the carpet in it anyway. We've got to start building in some bits ready for the sound system. I think we're trying to attack as much stuff as possible now before it goes to paint, to risk scratching the paint in the future. This is why I say I don't know when it will go for paint. I'm not a bottomless pit of money, and we're obviously going to have to do this a little bit at a time. So, I mean, these hydraulics, they cost me probably about the same price as the car did. It was a couple of thousand. But, you know, people will go, oh, it wasn't worth it. No, well, I'm building this car, and I think it's bloody worth it. And, you know, you can go and half-ass build a car. Anybody can do that. You might as well do it right. And I've decided to go this route to make it practical more than anything, and it'll look good. So there we go. I think that about wraps up this video for now. We'll try and get some more footage of the car as it progresses. I keep obviously doing shorts and things of the car as it sits with no paint on it. We're going to have to start getting some primer laid down on that car in the next few weeks, because obviously the moisture in the air is going to be setting in at this time of the year in the winter. But yeah, I've kind of kept certain things at the back end hidden that we're doing because it's a bit top secret and I want to surprise a few people. But as things go on, we will update you. Please give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that jazz. It does help the channel out. It gets it noticed by more people. You know, obviously, if you're following me, just hit me a thumbs up, or send me a message. You know, always willing to chat to whoever. But yes, we've got to get this over to the guy who's doing the build now, Loz's Customs, and get him to bolt it all on. So, as I say, I'll keep you informed on that one. And we're sending some parts out from the Corsa this week, actually. Just as a final note, there's a couple of bits I no longer need on it. Things that we bolted on in the early days, but decided I don't need those. So I am going to recycle them, send them out to somebody else who's doing another Corsa build. And he is willing to use the components for his car. So watch this space and we'll update you on that as we go. But anyway, thanks for watching, and see you soon.